Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I will be doing part 2 of my Toy Story nail series. The first video is more detailed characters. I will have that video linked here in the cards as well as the description if you did miss out. The design I'm going to be doing today is focused around 3D nail art, so let's get right into it. I already have the base of the press-ons painted. These are the medium square full cover nail tips from NailzByDev. The pinky I used So Juicy. For the ring fingernail we have Honey Bun. For the middle fingernail I have Just Red from Veeda. The index nail is Pinky Promise, and the thumbnail is Be My Lover. I did do 2 layers of each color, and I'm just going to be working over top of this. For all of the 3D nail art, I will be using NailzByDev's TRIPPY gel. This is basically a nail text Play-Doh. These first 2 colors are light beige and brown. These are going to be kind of the main colors of this first character. Do make sure that you have on some gloves whenever working with a product like this. Touching uncured gels can give you the risk of getting contact dermatitis. Taking my cuticle pusher, I'm just going to scoop up a decent amount of the color light beige. I'm going to roll it around in my fingers a little bit and then place it down in the center of the nail. The first character that I'm doing is Slinky, also known as Slink. So I'm starting out by sculpting out his snout. His snout is kind of pointy. It's kind of like a 3D like V type of shape. I do want to go ahead and say that this manicure is a recreation from Tim's Nail Studio on Instagram. I've actually wanted to recreate this nail set for quite some time now. I love Tim's work, absolutely love the nail set, so that is what we're doing. I did go ahead and cure the light beige color. So I'm going to be taking the orange TRIPPY gel and I'm going to mix this with the brown TRIPPY gel. I kind of wanted to use the orange by itself, but when I opened it, I remembered how vivid and bright this orange TRIPPY gel is. So taking the orange color that I mixed up, I'm just placing that just above the snout area. This is going to be the area where his eyes are. So I'm just taking my silicone tool from NailzByDev to smooth this out. TRIPPY gel doesn't really self-level at all, so you do have to really work to make this product very smooth. You probably can file over it after it's cured. I'm not sure, I haven't tried that before, but I just like to try to get everything as smooth as possible. I did go ahead and cure that, and now I'm taking the brown TRIPPY gel by itself for his ears. I just rolled a little hot dog shape and I'm placing this to the side of his head. I am going to go ahead and repeat the exact same thing for his other ear as well. After that's cured, I am taking the white TRIPPY gel and I'm going to roll up 2 very small balls of this. This is going to be for his eyes. This was probably the hardest part for this character for me. Getting the eyes to be the same size was actually a little bit difficult. I'm also making sure to flatten down the surface of his eyes because I will be painting on the pupil with a gel, and I do like to paint over very flat surfaces. You can just leave them rounded out, but this is just my preference. Now I'm taking my Veeda black gel paint. This is a very pigmented black gel. I will have my discount code on screen as well as down below in the description. Taking the small side of the micro detailer brush, I am going to go ahead and pick up the black gel paint and paint on the details. This does include his eyebrows, nose, and pupils. Once I have all of the black detail painted on, I am going to go ahead and cure that for a full minute. And here is Link. So now I'm going to go ahead and take NailzByDev's No Wipe Shiny Top Coat Gel, and I'm going to go ahead and top coat the design. I'm just starting out by top coating the base of the nail since I haven't applied any top coat to it. And I'm also going to be top coating over top of the 3D nail art. You do not have to top coat your 3D TRIPPY gel, but for some designs, I actually really like how it looks. And for this design, I did want to apply the top coat to the entire design. Whenever I top coat over top of 3D nail art like this, I do like to make sure to remove all of the extra gel, just because I don't want to take away from all of the detail that I put in. Now I'm taking the yellow TRIPPY gel and I'm going to be using this on the middle fingernail. I am kind of jumping around on the nail set, so these nails are not in any order. I really love the color of this one. It is so pretty. So I'm taking a really big amount of TRIPPY gel and I'm going to roll this into a ball. I'm just going to go ahead and place this down in the center. I am just taking the chisel side of the tool to go ahead and push down the edges into the nail. For this one, we are just doing the Toy Story ball. I feel like this is definitely the easiest one out of all of them. I really do not think the center of this ball cured under the lamp because I did it in one huge bead. So if you are doing this on yourself, other people, or plan to actually wear the press-ons, I would recommend that you do this ball in layers. Once I cure that, I am taking the Veeda Just Red gel polish and I'm going to go ahead and paint on a star. Now initially my star looked very bad, so I just wiped it off and tried again. Sometimes stars can be very difficult for me, so I was kind of struggling initially. I did go ahead and cure the star. Now I'm taking the liner color Blue Dabadi and I'm going to be using this for the rim that goes all the way around it. For this part of the nail design, I am just making sure not to get any of the blue gel liner on the base of the nail. I did go ahead and cure that for a full minute, and now I'm taking the top coat gel once again and I'm going to go ahead and top coat the entire nail. Once I applied the top coat, of course I did go ahead and cure. Moving on to the index nail, I am going to go ahead and do Hamm. Hamm is the piggy bank toy, so for his skin I am taking the TRIPPY gel color pink. Again, I am taking a pretty decent size of the gel and I'm going to roll that into a ball. I'm just placing this down in the center of the nail and I am going to go ahead and start pressing it down just a little bit. Pressing the gel into the nail does kind of make sure that it's not going to be flying off the nail when you go to try and sculpt it. I'm also making sure to make it as round and even as possible. I took a small amount of TRIPPY gel. I just went ahead and cut that amount in half. I rolled that into a very small ball and I'm going to place this on the side of the circle for his ears. Once I have these circles placed, I'm just going to go ahead and sculpt these into little triangles. Once I finish the ears, I did go ahead and cure that. Now I'm taking a small to medium sized amount of TRIPPY gel and I'm going to roll this into a ball as well. I'm going to place this at the bottom of the circle for the snout. I am flattening down this circle and sculpting it out to be round just as I did for the head. I did go ahead and cure that. Now I'm taking the brown shading gel from NailzByDev and I'm going to put this in the center of his ears, and I'm also going to use this for his nostrils. Because these colors are not directly touching, before I cure that, I am going back in with the black gel paint from Veeda and my dotting tool to go ahead and do his eyes. I went ahead and did his eyebrows as well. I am not doing a mouth because I wanted this to be more of a cute, like character, cartoony type style. So I did go ahead and cure that, and now I'm taking the top coat gel once again to top coat the entire nail. I took the white TRIPPY gel and I pre-made a bunch of very small ball shapes. I'm going to quickly show you how I made one, even though it's very easy to understand. I just took an extremely tiny amount of the TRIPPY gel and I rolled it into a ball. I went ahead and made a bunch of these to make the actual nail design a lot faster to do. So for the thumb, I am doing the wallpaper in Andy's room, which is a bunch of clouds. The shape of these clouds are not perfect, but I actually really like the shape of these. I'm not placing these directly side by side. I do want one or two areas of the cloud to be bigger than the other sections. Once I have the size of the cloud done, I did go ahead and start smudging the TRIPPY gel in towards the center. I did want to add a little bit of height to the bottom of the cloud as well, so I just took another ball and spread it out over the bottom section just to kind of raise up the entire cloud. I'm going to go ahead and repeat the same thing to do more clouds on the nail. Originally, I did plan to do a different style of cloud for the set because I have seen a lot of really cool Korean and Japanese nail artists do clouds a different way. I did actually do a set with that style of cloud before and I really wanted to do it again for this nail set, but it just wasn't quite looking right. So that is why I did switch up the style of clouds. One really good thing about this specific nail design is these are clouds, so they do not have to be absolutely perfect. If you are going for the exact wallpaper style of clouds, you can do that and you might need to make it look a little bit more like the reference photo, but typically clouds can have differences in them, which does make it a little bit easier to do. I did go ahead and cure the clouds, and of course I'm going to top coat over top of all of this. For the last nail, I am going back with the brown trippy gel, and I will be sculpting a character over the brown nail, which is the ring fingernail. I am just taking a pretty good size amount of the brown trippy gel. I'm going to roll that in my fingers and go ahead and place this down in the center of the nail. As you guys seen, I did have a little bit of the white trippy gel stuck in my glove, and that did kind of transfer over a little bit, but honestly it's not that noticeable at the end of the nail design. For this nail, I am going to be doing Mrs. Potato Head. I automatically knew that this was going to be the most difficult nail and most time consuming, which is why I did save it for last. I have been trying to tell you guys how long each set of nails takes me to do, and this one I didn't specifically time, but I did finish it in one day. I believe I started when my kids were napping and then had to take a break and finished later on that afternoon. With the way that my schedule is, that is pretty much 4 hours or less. I did go ahead and cure the base of the potato head, and now I'm taking the pink trippy gel. I'm going to take a pretty small amount of this, and I'm placing this down in the center of the potato. This is going to be her nose. So taking the pointed side of the tool, I'm just going to go ahead and shape this into a nose. Taking the same pink trippy gel, I'm just going to go ahead and sculpt out her ears. These are very simple, basically no detail, it's just a half moon on the side of the head. I went ahead and did the other ear as well. Now I'm going back with the white trippy gel to sculpt out the eyes. These are ovals on both sides of the nose. After finishing the eyes, I am going to go ahead and sculpt out a hot dog shape, and I'm going to be doing her arms. So I was extremely nervous of doing her arms because this was going to be extremely tiny. So I was very stressed about this part of the nail design because I'm not the best at arms or hands, and sculpting is not my biggest area for nail art. So I was very nervous of how these arms were going to turn out. Honestly, they're not the best. I just kind of winged it, and you can kind of tell that they're arms, but it doesn't have that much detail in them. I basically just sculpted out a little S like her arms are on her hips, and that was it. I didn't put much detail in them. Once I have her arms done, I did go ahead and cure. I then took a bigger hot dog shape, and I'm going to place this over her forehead for her hat. Now there are different variations of Mrs. Potato Head, but the reference that I was going by, she was wearing a white hat with a flower on the middle, so that is just the one that I'm going to be doing. Once I've sculpted out the brim of the hat, I am going ahead and adding a little ball in the center, and I'm going to smooth that out as well. This is kind of the main part of the hat where her head goes into. This part of the hat is also a lot closer to the nail than the brim of the hat, so it does really give off that 3D effect that I was going for. Now taking the red trippy gel, I am going to do another small hot dog shape. This is going to be for her lips. I did start out with her bottom lip. Once I have that sculpted out, I did go ahead and move on to her top lip. I did really try to sculpt out her cupid's bow, but that was kind of hard because of the size of this. The top coat at the end does kind of take away from that effect. I'm also using the same red trippy gel for her shoes. She is wearing heels, but I felt like that was going to be very difficult to do, so I did just kind of do these little triangle shapes for her shoes. I did go ahead and cure that, and now I'm going back with the yellow trippy gel. Using this color, I'm going to make very tiny balls, and I'm going to place these on the bottom of her ears for her earrings. This part is very hard to see on camera, and it also was hard to see in person, but I'm going back with the white trippy gel to kind of try and sculpt out a very tiny flower in the center of her hat. I don't feel like I did the best during this step, but I was also trying to just finish the nail set at this point. I am going back with the orange trippy gel and taking a very tiny amount of this. I'm going to place it in the middle of the flower. Now taking Dev's pastel gel liner. This one is called Sweet Lilac. It's a really pretty lavender color. You do have to mix up her gels before you use them, by the way, especially if they sit for quite a few days. So I'm just going ahead and stirring that up. Look how pretty this color is. It's definitely one of my favorites from the pastel gel liner collection. I'm going to be using this with the micro detailer brush for her eyelids. I feel like this didn't quite show up as well as I really wanted it to, but I didn't want to use a darker purple shade. I did go ahead and cure that, and now I'm going to go ahead and draw on her eyebrows as well as her eyelashes and pupils. The eyelashes were extremely difficult because the surface of her eyelid wasn't extremely smooth, and it was also extremely tiny, so they didn't turn out exactly perfect, but you can tell what they are. And just as all of the other nails, I'm going to finish this off with the shiny gel top coat. For this nail, I did have to pay a little bit closer attention at removing the extra gel just because there's so many different levels of the 3D aspect. I did go ahead and cure, and here are the press-ons. I really love these press-ons. I honestly think the thumbnail is my favorite. I just love how the clouds look against the blue and the way that the top coat like surrounded the clouds. Let me know which one is your favorite down below. Here are both of the press-on sets on my nails. If you guys did miss the first video, once again, I'll have that linked down below. Do make sure to give this video a big thumbs up, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!